First of all, thank Coach Jeff for bringing me out. This is a beautiful outing to see a community support this school, the church, the football team. Coach wanted me to talk about determination, and honestly, I would not be here today if I wasn't determined. You know, our lives are not path right when we're born. I had a tough life growing up, but I was introduced to football by an Italian guy. Out of all people, you would think he'd be introducing me to soccer, but he was an Italian guy, bloodline straight from Sicily, and would come to the inner cities and come pick us up, me and a bunch of other kids. And, he changed my life. But he knew one thing that I had was determination when I was out there on the football field. Even if I didn't do it right, he said, you're always determined and you're feisty. He said, keep that, it's gonna pay off. And my message today is really, to talk to the players out there. You guys are coming from a small school and people might not look at you guys as a powerhouse school, but don't worry about that. Be determined. And this older gentleman from Italy, John Renner, still know him today, picked me up, take me to practice, bought me pads, bought me helmets, cleats, everything, But he pressured me to keep the feistiness. I came from, just inner city. And there were other people that were fortunate to have the financial means to pay for the things. And if I didn't have him to fund some of the things like what we're doing today, I wouldn't be here. I would not be here at all. So it starts from someone. And you guys can make a difference. So I to give here, and I want you guys to also give. But determination is also about, to me, it's about creating a legacy. To you football players out there, I took my determination onto high school, and our school wasn't a powerhouse. Our school wasn't a powerhouse. It was bigger than this, but it wasn't a powerhouse. But we won the school's first ever championship. Surprised everybody. That's my legacy. I go back to the school today, and they know who I am, got my picture up. I was one of the first guys to make it to the NFL from this school. And that's what determination is. It's about building your legacy. Because you seniors out there, what are you going to be remembered for? What are you going to be remembered for? Are you going to be remembered for the team that, Seattle Lutheran, they just lose every year? What stamp are you going to put on this season? And that's what determination is about. It's easy for anybody to just, play the sport, wear the jacket, and, put on the helmet, have the cheerleaders back and everything else, but you have to have determination to make it through those hard, tough times. It's not about just show when you're out there playing. And determination also can transfer over to, regular society. It doesn't have to be about sports all the time, because that's where I'm at in my life right now. I have a whole different ball game I'm playing on right now. It's transitioning out of the NFL. The determination to be a success, not to be one of these guys you hear about on SportsCenter all the time that's broke or doing something they're not supposed to be doing. Trust me, it's very tempting if you don't have the determination and a foundation. Because, you're on a platform when you're in the NFL. And once that platform is taken away, it's like, okay, what do you do so your kids can continue to see that you're successful? And it's hard, because football is, in the NFL, as Greg knows, it's all you know, mentally and physically. That's all you do, 7 days a week, 10 hours a day. It's almost like being brainwashed. So when that gets taken away from you, what do? And I had to ask myself, what did I like before I played football? What did I want to be? You know, I really had to ask myself that. But one thing I knew, I was determined to be a success, regardless. I was a winner on the football field, and I was determined to be a winner off the football field. I'm still determined to be a winner. And I'm going to talk about something on the other side of a story that this Italian guy told me. You know, because he knew I had that feistiness to be a winner. Even after the games, I was fighting the other team because I wanted to win so bad. He told me, he said, you know, Orlando, you know, I like your determination, I like your feistiness. He said, you know, just keep it in check. But he said, I'm going to tell you a story about the Vikings. And I was like, what are you talking about? He said, Vikings. When you have determination, you have to have a purpose. Purpose. And today I know my purpose to be successful, but back then I didn't know. And I'm telling all you players, when you determine, what is your purpose? What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with all this determination? Are you just going to build it up and just hit dead-end walls? Or are you going to be determined and have a plan, a purpose? He said, you know, the Vikings, you know, they used to have a rite of passage, probably when they were probably 12 or 13 years old. And from there on, these young men were determined to live up to their families and their generations, to be that successor of their father or their grandfather, these Vikings. And also to, you know, destroy and conquer. That's the history of the Vikings. But they were determined to keep that legacy going. And he said, you know, when the Vikings used to go over to other countries, they used to get off the ships, and they used to burn their ships. He said, this is what they taught their kids. When you get off that ship for war, you burn those ships. This is how determined they were to be a successful race. This is how determined they were of their survival of their generations. And I said, why? He said, because this is going to be their new home. That's why they burned their ships. They weren't looking back. And I told those players out there that you guys, when you guys don't look at your pads or equipment or things like that, be determined to be a success on the field and off the field. Be determined when you go to these other teams' football fields, burn those ships, strap up those chin straps, and knock somebody's block off. Be determined. So I'm saying to the Saints, good luck this year, be determined, and burn those ships. Don't look back.